In this episode, we speak with Eric Voogt, founder and CEO at Proof, the world's first on-demand service of process platform that provides instant access to experienced servers and the ability to track a serve in real time from a desktop computer or mobile device. Founded in 2017, Eric's paralegal understood the issue of tirelessly calling process serving companies to see if they had availability while faxing docs and waiting to get updated on serve statuses. The people at Proof believe law firms can create electronic serve requests 24/7, receive live updates, see mapped verification of all attempts, and connect directly to servers in real time. Eric is also president of the firm Glad Vote Lopez Smith PC. I'm your host, RJ Lumba. We hope you enjoy the show. If you like the episode, click to follow.
RJ Lumba is the executive chairman of Market Insight Media and the managing partner of GrowthCap. He is the host of Great Entrepreneurs, a podcast for driven entrepreneurs and business owners. Our podcast covers all topics related to the entrepreneurial journey, from ideation to execution to optimization and to reaping the rewards of a well-run business. In the minutes ahead, we'll share with you unique insights and tactics from some of today's most accomplished and inspiring entrepreneurs.
Eric, great to chat with you today. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thank you, RJ.
Absolutely. So this is a new space that we're talking about. I don't think we've covered technology in legal tech before. And it's interesting because when you start to learn about Proof, you see that it's a really niche area of this process that's part of the legal framework. So tell us about what Proof does.
Yeah, I think, first of all, the legal tech is having its day in the sun right now. It's really a focus. Lawyers have become very expensive, and it's difficult to get into the courthouse doors. But we're creating some great innovative technology as a legal tech market as a whole to really democratize the delivery of litigation services and legal services in general. So there is a lot of focus on legal right now and technology to support lawyers. And there's been a lot of great innovation in the way we create documents, right? Lawyers, and I've managed a law firm for many, many years, and I was a litigator. It doesn't matter if you're a transactional attorney or a litigator, you deal in documents. And AI has really helped us draft and create documents, whether they're briefs, motions, pleadings, or transactional documents. What Proof is focused on is getting those documents in the right hands. And so that's where we're innovating great technology, getting them off your computer, get them in the hands of defendants, witnesses, to the court, right? The court needs to know what's happening, right? And that's where your complaints and your subpoenas get filed. We get them to the court. We also get them in the hands of these defendants and witnesses. The Constitution of the U.S. requires adequate notice and opportunity to defend before your rights are deprived. And what we do is that notice part. We get the docs to the court, and then we get the documents like you've been served, right? Hand delivered to each of these defendants and each of these witnesses. And we do that on a nationwide basis with some really slick technology. So that is how you need to think about Proof. We get those documents in the right hands.
We're going to go further into your background because it's kind of a unique story from where you started and how you kind of leveraged your expertise. But before we do that, tell us about the size of this market. I imagine it's happening quite a bit. People are getting served all over the States. Tell us about the size of the market.
Yeah, interestingly, the way we think about it, it's about a $5 billion market just for total addressable market, just for the hand delivery of these documents to defendants and witnesses. About 25 million lawsuits. These are just civil lawsuits, right? Because adequate notice in the criminal cases are you got arrested, right? You know you got some issues to deal with. In the civil world, there's 25 million lawsuits filed across all jurisdictions throughout the U.S., federal, state, and local. And if you average 2 deliveries per civil lawsuit filed, our average ticket's about 100. You do the math, and pretty quickly you're up to about $5 billion just getting these documents in the hands of defendants and witnesses. So it's this niche market, but this very, very large niche market. And that doesn't include all the filing with the court.
And so I presume during the daily course of operating your law firm, you saw that this was a huge headache. Tell us about your background.
Yeah. So I started out as an engineer and then went to law school because I access to justice person, rule of law person, and I'm inspired by our nation of laws and how we ensure that individuals and companies have the opportunity to have justice and get justice. So I went to law school, managed a law firm here in Denver, Colorado for many, many years, 15 years or so, and was frustrated with our inability to take cases that didn't have high dollar values or didn't have clients that could pay our outrageous, frankly, outrageous hourly rate. And so I became really interested in trying to close that access to justice gap and started Proof. And really the first place we looked to innovate some technology to help with efficiency of lawyers is this delivery. Because the way it's done pre-proof and across this country is you got to find a process serving company that's closest to each one of maybe your 5 defendants. You've got to call them up. You got to arrange to get the documents to them by fax or email, and then it goes dark. The court, this is a telling, most court systems gives you 90 to 120 days just to deliver these documents to get the lawsuit started. We've narrowed that down to 1.9 days through some technology. Our technology finds the process server on our mobile app that's closest to each one of the defendants. It hits on our mobile app, they pick it up, and then the law firm can interact and track, just like you're tracking your FedEx package, each of those important deliveries that comply with the Constitution. The technology then creates what we call a proof of service or an affidavit of service that gets signed through the technology, and off it goes to court. So we've really reduced this cumbersome, lengthy delay to starting civil lawsuits in the U.S.
So it was the case that there were already processors around the country. You just needed the technology to increase the efficiency and volume.
That's exactly right. So we have 2,000 process servers on our technology network and about 16,000 law firms that they just upload the docs they want served, and then the technology takes over, finds that individual human that has to complete the transaction, and then helps that individual human complete the transaction in complete transparent communication with the law firm instead of not knowing where your documents are without a phone call or an email.
Curious, did it create this kind of desire for maybe other people to enter the processor space, or like, oh, now it's actually easier. I can just like get onto this platform. So I'll spend some time training and doing some career work. Have you seen that happen at all?
We've seen people flock, process servers flock to our technology because we put them in the right place at the right time with the right supportive technology to do their job much more efficiently. And that helps them have greater profit at the end of the day.
Got it. Back to your background, you went from attorney, operating your own law firm, and then now as an entrepreneur. Tell us about kind of the biggest challenge, or was there a lot of carryover or transferable skills from running your own law firm to running your own tech company?
The transferable skills are that I'm an industry expert and have the relationships and the credibility in the industry to drive revenue to our company. I'll tell you, running a 175 employee technology company is a whole lot different than running a 15 lawyer law firm. So there are some skills that are transferable, but mostly my industry expertise in designing great product market fit for both the law firm and the process server. Those have been the key things that I add to our company.
What's been the biggest challenge to scaling?
The biggest challenge is because we have great product market fit, it's an easy sale and the demand is tremendous. But we grow so quickly that making sure that the delivery, right, delivery on that demand is adequate has been very hard. We'll grow very quickly, and then we've got to say, okay, we've got to slow down a little bit so that our company can catch up on the delivery of that demand. That's probably been the biggest challenge because it is such a leap forward from a technology standpoint. It's just a better mousetrap that we sometimes struggle to keep up with the demand.
You know, you've brought in some investment, outside investors, some capital to fuel the growth. You've got a great investor in Long Ridge. Tell us about why you decided to partner with them and the value they bring to the table.
That's a great question. You need capital to grow at the rate that we're growing. You have to invest in your technology. You have to invest in your go-to-market team, right? And that's the idea of behind a growth equity firm like Long Ridge. When I started the process to raise money from institutional investors, I was really looking at raising less money from maybe a venture capital type business, but the opportunity is so big in legal tech today, and things are changing so rapidly with the adoption of AI and post-pandemic, lawyers just understand that technology needs to be a big part of what they do. And then you've got the justice gap where most Americans can't afford a lawyer. The combination of that has created a tremendous opportunity. So the folks at Long Ridge became very attractive to me because they're a bigger fund. They're a fund that is used to investing in high growth companies that take advantage of these tremendous opportunities. So it became an easy decision to go bigger when we raised money than stay conservative and more modest because of sort of the macro market and the things that I see when I'm out there talking to lawyers and legal technologists. This thing is just moving very quick, and we needed a sophisticated, well-capitalized fund like Long Ridge, and they've been a tremendous partner. The other thing you get with Long Ridge is they're just great human beings. So it's been a fantastic partnership for this first year since they invested in January of 2024.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into that real personal relationship with the investor at the firm. It's not just the firm as an entity, but it's actually the people there. Just to kind of pause on this for a little bit, because it's difficult for entrepreneurs to figure out like which firm should I partner with? My business is doing pretty well. I have my choice. Is there kind of a layer deeper you could tell us like why you decided to partner specifically with Long Ridge?
In addition to needing a larger fund, I make some decisions based on my comfort level. On the older side of entrepreneurs. And so I'm have some success in my life. And what's meaningful for me is to try to make a difference in something like access to justice, but also do it with people that I care about, right? And so we've built a leadership team at Proof, and we've gone with investors that fit that culture. And so don't forget about that, right? We had offers for a higher enterprise value for this investment. But gosh darn it, you're going to be working with these folks day in, day out, and it's not always going to be roses, right? You're going to face challenges, and you better feel comfortable with the human beings that you're going to be working with from the investor side of things. And that's not something that you can necessarily quantify, but listen to your gut when it comes to that. It has to be a good deal structurally and from an enterprise value, and it has to be the right amount of money when you take investment, but don't shortchange how you feel in your gut about the people that you're going to go into business with.
Well said. You touched on something, culture, and I always like to talk a little bit about that. Tell us about kind of your intention behind the culture that you have kind of permeating through Proof.
Yeah, I think the culture starts at the top, right? And again, because of my experience, I recognize that I don't know everything. And I think that has provided a modest, hardworking approach to our leadership, and that filters down to our employees. We have a very strong vision for what we want to be, right? And we talk about that on a regular basis. Again, I'm driven every day to get up because I want to help close that access to justice gap in the United States. And a big part of that is great technology that gets paralegals and lawyers out of the stuff that technology can do. We're highly trained. We have good judgment, great education, lots of great experience. Let's get out of the not so fun stuff that technology can do and really use that judgment, education, and experience to solve problems for our clients. And I talk about that often with our employees. That's what we're about. That's our vision, right? We're going to help democratize the delivery of legal services, but we're also going to do it in a hardworking, team, diverse way that we're going to persevere through some tough times. We're going to reward you for that as well. I didn't set out to do it intentionally, but we do have a great culture at Proof. So a little plug, come work for us. If you're talented and you want to grow with the company professionally, we are hiring on a regular basis. So check us out at proofserve.com and see if you want to join a high growth, great culture organization.
Excellent. Last two questions. One is, can you tell us about a person who's had a profound influence on you?
I'm going to go back to, family. Of course, my parents were wonderful people and raised me and my brother and sister in a great way. I've been surprised about how my kids influence us, right? Influence me and my wife. But probably the person that influences me the most is my amazing spouse. We've had similar trajectories in the last 5-6 years. She runs a large government organization that provides crucial services in the area of housing in the state of Colorado. And it's been a fun ride to see her organization grow at the same time ours has grown at Proof. And so we learn a lot from each other, and I've learned a lot from her through this journey. So I'd say my spouse.
Last question. Can you tell us about a charity cause or other endeavor that you're passionate about?
So mental health and homelessness are near and dear to my heart. And when we have any opportunity to support a charity, it's in that area. Mental health affects a lot of Americans. It's affected folks in my family, the people that I care deeply about. And I can't imagine not having the resources to be able to deal with that. It can be completely debilitating. And as a society, we don't support folks with mental health issues nearly as well as we should. And it's a big economic drag on us, not to mention tragic many times for the individuals and those individuals' families that struggle with mental health issues. So I would say mental health and homelessness are the general charitable direction that we go as a family.
Excellent. Well, Eric, I want to thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you, RJ. I really enjoyed it.